Happy Monday, guys. Let's make some money tonight in the NHL. Welcome to PuckTime, WagerTalk TV. Andrew and Carmine with you. We're going to talk some props. We're going to talk some sides, totals, team totals, and maybe get caught up on the weekend as well. And honestly, I love starting the week off when it's just Carmine, just myself. We get to go back and forth a little bit, talk about some games, talk about what we've liked, what we haven't liked, and all that good stuff. And, you know, we got a pretty good slate here on a Monday night to go over, and a couple teams that are feeling good coming into Monday, and maybe a couple teams that aren't feeling so great coming into Monday here, Carm. So looking forward to breaking things down, man. How was your weekend?
Weekend overall, I think, was fine. From a personal note, we're still getting snow up here, which isn't great. I do have an appointment to get the snow tires done. I need to move back to Italy and just live there. I'm trying to get my wife to retire early. Welcome to everyone in chat. UC, Panda, Steve Duke, Jacob, the rest of you guys that are obviously watching on this stream. I don't believe it's on, it could be on YouTube, but I think it's on the X. Mondays we go producerless, but Andrew and I, we're going to talk the New York Islanders, New Jersey, Columbus, Edmonton, Florida, and Vegas. And then the fourth game, I will talk about it in the pod segment of the show. But a third straight 6-60 Saturday for us, where we go 6-4. So if you're playing them individually, you're making some money, which is always a good thing. NHL, who would have thought? And I'm giving Andrew a little bit of time, so you guys are just going to listen to me blather for a little bit to grab a tea. But who would have thought the Edmonton Oilers would lose 9-1 to the Colorado Avalanche? The Avs are just absolutely flying right now. The Anaheim Ducks are hot on their heels, 25 and 23 points. And then we got a three-way tie in the Eastern Conference as well, too. Carolina, New Jersey, and the Montreal Canadiens all on 22 points. And I've had to talk my friends, and you guys will know them. I've had to talk my friends who are Leaf fans up here in the Great White North off of the ledge because their team continues to lose. They lose to the Boston Bruins on Saturday. They follow that up by blowing a 4-2 lead against the Carolina Hurricanes and lose that one 5-4. And I'm going to tell you guys what I told them. They have no leader in the room. They are soft. And this isn't me making fun of the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is me stating facts. They are soft. When your goalie had to call you out halfway through the opening part of the season for not protecting one of their own, you look at and you watch games and you slash a goalie, they take you out. You hit a defenseman or one of their better players, someone is jumping in and defending you. Speaking of the Carolina Hurricanes, it happened with them, where Stahl went after a guy who hit one of his players and got into a fight. These are leaders of teams. Speaking of leaders of teams, Andrew, are there any leaders in Edmonton? Because 9-1.
Yeah.
9-1. I don't think there's got to be a mercy rule in the NHL where they say to you, all right, you know what? This game is done. Why don't you guys all call it a night? Fans, the concessions are free. Like, do something. Give the people beer. At least make them happy to be able to watch that onslaught.
Yeah.
But
both teams
with that said,
that were in the Cup Finals last year, Carm, are playing tonight. They're both in action, but we haven't even seen those teams aren't even in a playoff spot right now. Like, that's what's crazy. We're talking about the 2-year contract that we saw that we saw McDavid sign with the Oilers, and people talked about, okay, good, you can rest. He at least signed back. I think we're starting to realize, Carm, why it was only 2 years, why McDavid signed that contract. This is a problem, and I get it. You talked about this like for 2-3 straight years with Tampa Bay, with John Cooper. It's not about where you finish. It's about getting in. Like if you look at the Dodgers in the World Series this year, as much as I hate to bring it up again, they were a wild card team, Carm. The good teams just need to get in. But the Oilers and the Panthers currently not sitting in a playoff spot is a bit wild. I have to get my licks in, my 2 cents in on the Leafs as well. Carm, they've scored the most goals this season in the NHL, and only one team has given up more goals this season in the NHL than the Maple Leafs. Not really a recipe for success.
This is I actually dropped it into my WhatsApp channel with some of my Leaf friends in there, and I said to them, because they're all just going off. I'm like, you guys are approaching this the absolutely wrong way. I can make you guys love the Leafs, and this is how you do it. Stop betting on the Leafs. Bet on Leafs overs. The Leafs have played 16 games this year. 14 games have gone over. You want to be happy? Make money. They say money can't buy happiness. This is one time where money can buy happiness. 14-2 Leafs totals this season to the over. That's what you should be doing, making money that way. But I would be remiss, guys, and I should have did it right off the top of the show. It is Remembrance Day. It is a day in Canada where you support the veterans by buying a poppy, donating money. They're all over the place. Drop a coin if you have any coins in there. Give them buy a poppy, wear a poppy. I'm going out right after the show, and I'm going to get mine because they weren't out on the weekend because of the snow and such. And if you have a minute and you're on the X, go to my page, go to my profile at Carmine Bianco WT. I have pinned a change.org thing. Sign the petition. Don Cherry, the man who I think is such a great proponent of veterans. He started this, he told people, please buy the poppies and what have you. Let's get him into the Hockey Hall of Fame. The NHL Hockey Hall of Fame deserves to be there for all of what he's done, and not only from a coaching perspective, but to even broadcasting before ultimately, Andrew, they canceled him back in the cancer culture days because he called out people for not buying poppies. And I don't get it. But with that said, sign the petition. It's on my it's on my Twitter feed at Carmine Bianco WT. And if you're in Canada, buy a poppy. Let's see if they try and cancel me because I mentioned buying a poppy. If you live in this, what is supposed to be a great country, and it's the same thing in the States, Veterans Days, you guys know it. And when you honor the people who provided you with the freedom that you now have, with a small donation that doesn't hurt. If you can make it, you make it. If you can't, you still honor them. So that is where I'm going with that. Andrew, anything to add? I will say at least my weekend ended on a very positive note, even though the Bills got absolutely destroyed in Miami, because my 5% play last night in NFL with the Chargers won as they beat Aaron Rodgers. Primetime Aaron. I don't know what they're saying about Primetime Aaron, but the Chargers were definitely the play, -2.5. Never in doubt, rocking chair winner. And I thank everyone that came along and joined me for that one. There was quite a few of you guys that hopped on board.
Well
really
done,
appreciate it.
But
that said, Andrew,
I had the Texans. How about that? The Texans come back. You got to love that one. When it's not
it
going
was
well
a freaky day, and Panda talked about teasers. It was a freaky day in the NFL. A lot of teasers got smashed because a lot of teasers actually had the Bills in it as well too. I had the Bills in mine, so I'm not happy about it, but it was a rough day. And then those afternoon 4:00 games were pretty much all blowouts by halftime. So it is tough to watch when that is happening. With that said, Andrew, do we have a blowout in the first game? It is the New York Islanders and the New Jersey Devils. -157 for the Devils. plus 129 to take back on the Islanders. 6 is the total. I'm done talking. Over to you.
Well, Carm, you know what? I got to say this, that this Islanders team, they continue to impress me offensively. They really do, because I thought that we were going to see them drop that game over the weekend that they had over the New York Rangers, and I couldn't have been more wrong. I mean, again, this New York Rangers team, we'll get to the New York Rangers, of course. How they're playing at home is just abysmal. But I got to give respect to a few guys right now on the New York Islanders. Jonathan Drouin playing very well with his new team and his new contract. Bo Horvat, he is leading the way for his team right now, and it's been very impressive to see. Anthony Duclair stepping up in a big way. Emil Heineman has been a guy that's worked out to be a very solid trade for this team. So they've got guys stepping up, and then now there's a little bit of pressure off guys like Barzell and the top guys on the team. Not to mention a guy like Schaefer, who's cashing prop bets every night, whether it's shots on goal bets or whether it's prop bets or whatever it might be. But Raven Ron, he brings it up here, Carm, in the live chat. And I was going to say, I tried being contrarian over the weekend, but I'll tell you one thing. There's one thing here where this Rangers team was horrible at home, and the Islanders went in and said, yeah, you guys are still pretty bad at home. But now you got a Devils team that I'm still pretty confident in, and this is a team that knows how to get the job done at home. I know you talked about some of their stats in the first period last year, Carm, but this is a spot where I like the New Jersey Devils. And when you look at this Devils team, they're coming off about as most of a boring game as you could possibly imagine. One thing I forgot to mention that I wanted to mention to start the show off, and I say this every Friday night when I record the pre-scout looking at Saturday's slate. Carm, do we just automatically take every day game in the NHL under? It's like primetime unders in NFL before. Like these 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m. starts in the NHL, no matter who's playing, they're going under the total. And you had a 2-1 Devils versus Penguins game. Very low event, very boring hockey. But I feel like that's why this Devils team plays so well at home. So I do lean towards this Devils team. And instead of looking towards the money line, you guys know what I'm doing here. Team total over 3.5. Get that magic number of 4 for the Devils. Carm, I know that you've liked this Islanders team as far as what they've been able to provide for you with their overs. I know you've cashed,
Yes,
I think, a couple of those over tickets. Maybe not as many money line tickets when it comes to them. But I think if you look at the overs, it's been a tale of two different reasons why they're cashing. Sometimes it's been because of them. Sometimes it's been because of their opponent. So I think that tonight might be because of their opponent if the game goes over. So over 3.5 plus 105 at FanDuel. I'll take the Devils to get to 4 here.
Yeah, it's right now it's looking, Andrew, like the number one goalies, Sorokin and Markstrom going for these two teams. I haven't taken any Islander money lines, I think, for the most part. Maybe twice this season I've taken Islander money lines, and twice might be too high. But I have taken overs with this team because they've been very good at scoring goals. They're also very good at allowing goals. And from a record perspective, let me have a quick look. The New York Islanders overall this season to the over, the New York Islanders are the third best team at 11-4, 15 games, 11 times over the total, plus 6.65 units, or 39.82 ROI on your money. That is a good investment with them. Now, do they get a boring game out of the Devils? You got to look back to, like if you want to go back, you can't go back many years when you're looking at totals, but you can go back to if the lineups and squads look similar to what they did last year. The coaching staff hasn't changed, and it hasn't. It's still Sheldon Keefe. It's still Patrick Roy. The core players are still there. Last year, the first 2 games of the season between these two teams went to OT, tied 3-3 in both games. So 4-3 results there, 7 goals scored. This total sits at 6, and rightfully so. It opened at 6.5. it was there for like a very short while. Then at 6, I think it shaded a little bit to the over now and probably could hit 6.5, but I think it stays firm at 6. You can look at this two ways, guys. You can play a 6, which very likely the game could land on 6 here, or if you don't think a goal is going to be scored in the opening 5 or 6 minutes of the game, and you're willing to take that chance, you can live bet this game and get a 5.5. Just because they go scoreless in the first 5 minutes doesn't mean that the over is dead. We see goals getting scored, whether it's the first period or whether it's the full game. The goals get scored eventually. So that's two ways of playing it. You can take it now at 6, or you can take a shot in game, and especially with totals, the in game after the first few minutes of the game, you pay a little extra vig, but you can get a half goal, which sometimes is all the difference. And Andrew, someone asked me, or someone said in the chat before, if you're going to take, I think it was on Friday's show, if you're going to take the first period over, why not just take the full game over? Because you could end up with a game like yesterday's Dallas-Seattle Kraken game that had 3 goals in the first period. Dallas 2-1, final score, Dallas 2-1. So that happens. By the way, let me have a look here. Quick look. There were 8 games in the NHL last night. The first period over hit in 7 of 8 games last night. Over 1.5 hit in 7 of 8 games. If you had the only game that stayed under 1.5 goals, please raise your hand. Andrew, I'll take it over to you. Any thoughts on these first period overs?
Well, I just think right now, Carm, a lot of times we're seeing like there's no, like you and I always talk about the dreaded 4-1 lead, right? There's no lead being protected in the first period. Both teams are trying to get off to fast starts. So you don't have to worry about a total dying. The good example being is that the double system play we talked about on the show with who was it? Rangers and Red Wings, right? The first period went over, but the full game didn't go over. And what did it land on, Carm? 4-1. That's what it actually landed on the game. So these first periods, it's awesome because both teams are going full throttle, gas, all gas, no breaks. And then maybe in the second and third period, teams will change. And Carm, because you and I have broken down some of these coaches, but a lot of it has to do with the coach. Like which coaches protect leads, which coaches sit back a lot more. Like the Montreal Canadiens in 2 of the last 3 games, they had leads and they had blown them. And one they had to go to overtime and win. One they went to overtime and lost, I believe. And then their game on Saturday against Utah, once they got the lead, they kept pushing. And the coach and even the players were like, okay, maybe just because we got a lead, we shouldn't sit back on it. Like only some teams are good at doing that. Like, do you think, like, Carm, I know you're a soccer fan, like maybe it works for some teams. You get up 1 goal, you sit on the lead. But some teams, you also still need to keep getting that extra insurance goal, another one. But I love those first periods because there's no need to sit back when it's a first period. Both teams are going balls to the wall. If I'm allowed to say that here on the show.
Of course you are.
And we got to shout out Alex B. Smith is in here with us.
Alex is in the chat. I got to watch a game with the guy, man. One of these days, got to get together. Alex, I believe, is a huge Cubs fan. I say that tongue in cheek. I think he's a White Sox fan, but fly the L, or was it fly the W? I don't know. Fly the whatever. Anyways,
he
Andrew, we got
to
let's move on. But
wait. Just got to mention his comment here. 27% of games have been going into OT or shootout, and he likes the draw in the Devils game tonight. So
yeah, I've always last year were the Thailanders, right? Last year they were the Thailanders. 2 of their games this season, 2 of their 15 games have gone to OT. They're one of those remarkable teams where they either win in regulation or they lose in regulation. 2 of their games have gone to OT. Tonight, 3-3 going to OT. Let's make it happen, Alex.
Final score.
Andrew, UC Panda, I think, mentioned this much earlier about score lines skewing results for at least a week or so. And that is what's happening here with this Edmonton Oilers team that loses 9-1 at home to the Colorado Avalanche. I just couldn't even watch that game. It was like a mercy killing, and I was on Colorado. So it was just an absolute mercy killing for them. I just don't get the Edmonton Oilers on home ice. I get Colorado's a good team, but that number is going to skew things for a little while, and I think it might skew people's thoughts on the Edmonton Oilers that, they're a must-play, must-win situation tonight against Columbus. Says who? If the game had finished 2-1 for Colorado in OT, Colorado still gets 2 points. The Oilers get 1, but Colorado still gets 2 points and the win, and it skews nothing. It doesn't change the narrative for tonight's game, but the narrative was changed because everyone is like, the Oilers have to bounce back. Andrew, this is the one thing that gets me. I have a lot of facial reactions on this show and I go all over the place, but the Oilers coach looks the same when the score is scoreless and when he's losing 9-1. The camera goes over to him and he's just stoic. He's just kind of staring ahead. He's just like, he's either on the Prez's edibles or he's completely emotionless. I don't get it. The Oilers 176. Do I want to lay that against Columbus tonight? I do not want to lay that against Columbus. I'd probably look at the over because there's no better thing to look at than a wounded team like Edmonton and having Columbus come in and say, let's see if we can jump on these guys early. Let's skate with them and let's try and get some goals. Maybe that's a different narrative. That's mine. I'm going over in this game. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like there's not going to be one single person today that loves the Blue Jackets unless you're a hater of the Oilers. And good news for us, we haven't really been putting too much respect on the Oilers. At the end of the day, though, Carm, I'm going to say this. When things are going bad, they're going bad for you. And on my Friday night show, there were two things that I said that could happen Saturday night. I had two bold takes. You want to know what those bold takes were? The Rangers finally win a game at home. They lost 5-0. And the Oilers can catch the Avalanche sleeping. Those are two pretty bad takes. The Oilers catching the Avalanche sleeping. This team, pretty much people always said that defense isn't the problem. Goaltending's the problem. I think right now, when you look at their defense, it's not just their top guys, not just their bottom pairing, not just their forwards. It's everybody all together. And Carm, we can call it cup fatigue because even though they didn't win the cup, they went to the Stanley Cup Finals back-to-back seasons. But when it comes down to it, this is a team that is struggling to get consistent production out of their secondary guys. Like, if you are a coach and you're game planning against the Oilers, it's the same old adage that we've been saying on PuckTime for 4 or 5 years now. 4 or 5 years. If you are in the coach's video room before you take on the Oilers, hey guys, do you see number 97? Do you see number 29? Yeah, make sure those guys don't score. And if those guys don't score, you're going to beat the Edmonton Oilers. And Carm, if you look at the Avalanche game over the weekend, Nathan McInnis didn't even score until the third period. You had fourth liners scoring, third liners scoring, defensemen scoring. That's how bad it was for this Edmonton Oilers team. It's, to me, one of those things where they're giving up so many opportunities against so many different people. And I think, quite honestly, this is one of those games where you just look at props. Whether you want to look at Evan Bouchard, whether you want to look at McDavid or Draisaitl or Nugent Hopkins or whoever you want to look at. If you like the Oilers in some way, shape, or form, you look towards player props. But I'll tell you, like, when I look at this Blue Jackets team, I've been a little bit more impressed with their offense than I have been with the Oilers because at least, even though they kind of fizzled out a little bit, they've been involved in most games they've played in, and they've been able to put goals on the board. Voronkov, Marchenko, Monahan. Like, I could probably list more players that impress me offensively than I can on the Oilers right now. It's an issue. So I'll probably look towards player props in this game in summary here, Carm. But, you talked about first period overs. And I think this one could be a game to see the first period over hit. Obviously, we're seeing kind of a higher total here. So some people might want to bet, both teams to score at plus 140. Or you can take the over 2. And if it lands on 2, you get the push. But if you get the 3 goals, then you get that good plus money. But I feel like this game starts off with a fast start. And Carm, I tried to get some data off Ralph Michaels, totals, sides, whatever it might be. There wasn't really much there as far as a team coming off an ass kicking like the Oilers are. And it goes to show, as you mentioned, are many people thinking the same way about the Oilers today if they didn't get their butts kicked by the Avalanche? That's really the case.
Yeah.
They're going to get a good effort out of them, but doesn't mean they're going to win tonight, right?
Yeah, no, I get it. It doesn't. I mean, like even maybe taking the over 6.5 could be an overreaction by me in thinking that we're going to see some scoring here. I'm seeing. I think as far as the goaltenders go, I'm seeing well unconfirmed. Yes, Skinner and Jet Greaves. Andrew, Jets had a pretty good season for a team that isn't winning a lot of games. He's 3-4, but look at these score lines. So I don't think anything comes close to the over 6.5, other than one game against the Buffalo Sabres. But 5-1 against Calgary, 3-2 against St. Louis, 4-3 against Buffalo, 5-1 against Washington, 3-2 against Tampa, 3-2 against the New Jersey Devils, and 2-1 against Nashville. So basically, only one of the games he has started has gone, the game total has gone over 6.5. There's been a couple sixes in there. They're going to have to score some goals in this one. My first reaction is the over. We'll see who the goaltenders are, but if anything, I still going to take the over, Andrew. It's not going to be a client play, but it's going to be a bet on. Let me see if these guys can bounce back from that embarrassing game. And last year we saw in the NHL, I believe there was at least 2, maybe 3 games that finished 7-0, and Colorado was involved in one of those games as well too on home ice. So, or maybe even a couple of those games on home ice. So, with that said, we'll see what happens as far as the Edmonton Oilers go tonight. I want to say this, Andrew, because my good buddy, I haven't seen him in the chat yet. Los Kid, my good buddy, the Penguins fan. I made a statement saying that I thought the Pittsburgh Penguins had a tough schedule coming up, and they had 5 games, and they could very well lose all 5 games. Well, they lost 4 of the 5 games. So if you bet against the Penguins, you did well. The only game they lost, I blame Brian Leonard for that one, because he released the Pittsburgh Penguins as a 5% play, and they beat the Washington Capitals despite blowing a 3-0 lead in that one. It was tied at 3-3. So Brian Leonard, you're the only reason that I got I went 4-1 and not 5-0 on my fade the Penguins thing. But I will come up with my new fade team tomorrow that has at least a 4 or 5 game stretch in which I think there's a good chance they lose all of those games. Prez has a 5% play up tonight in the NHL. The guy is absolutely on fire with his 5%. So if you head over to WagerTalk, you will find it over on his page. NHL 5% play up for tonight. Andrew, the last 2 teams to win the Stanley Cup: Vegas Golden Knights, Florida Panthers. Minus 147, a nice little buy low price on Vegas if you really like them. Plus 121 on Florida. Total sits here at 6. How are you playing this one? And then I'm going to discuss this one right after you.
Oh man, Carm, I need to deal with this cough. That's why I keep putting you on the screen by yourself, so I can just cough like a man that smokes 20 packs of cigarettes a day, even though I'm not actually a smoker. You'd think I am right now.
I don't do drugs. I don't drink hard alcohol. But I do enjoy beer, and I do enjoy very good Napa Valley wines, which unfortunately our government no longer allows us to stock in stores, but I get it shipped to me. So it's all good.
There you go.
Continue on.
Yeah, that was pretty much the section I was shopping in the most. So, all right. So this is something that we see quite a bit, Carm, where teams either they play one half of a road trip one way or the other. It'll be Vegas, then San Jose, or San Jose, then Vegas, or sometimes it's Utah, then Vegas, then Utah. But a lot of times this season so far, we've seen it's either you play front half in San Jose or the front half in Vegas. And obviously we saw the Panthers play the first part of this in San Jose, and it did not look very good whatsoever here. And I'm here to say that I think that when a team like the Panthers are struggling, because it has not been great for them overall, and their consistency level has not been there, Carm, I think the under is where you look. These teams played back on October 25th, so not long ago. They played in Florida. The game finished 3-0, shutting out the Vegas Golden Knights. This Vegas team has been strong. They've been scoring. Guys like Dorofeyev look unbelievable. And they just look like they have such a deep team right now. But I think when I look at this spot, we've been waiting to find the under involving this Vegas Golden Knights team. And I think that this could be a good one to look at. You know, every couple of games, you see those unders, 1-0 for them against Detroit, and then 2 straight overs against Tampa and against Anaheim. But I honestly think that right now, Florida, without Barkov, without Tkachuk, they are lacking the offensive ability. They are lacking the offensive scorers. Rodriguez isn't going to get you there. Lundell's not going to get you there. Marchand is doing the best he can. It's hard to take an under in a Vegas Golden Knights game. That's kind of where I am right now, Carm. I like the under in this one here.
Andrew, I saw a comment earlier in this game, and I don't blame you for liking the under in this game because I tend to lean that way as well, too. Florida will eventually be better once they figure out who they can bring in on long-term injury reserve and fill that scoring spot. Maybe they grab Stamkos, because I hear Stamkos is available. And I had a very good source say to me, and I said, that's not happening. That Stamkos could be moving to the Toronto Maple Leafs. They don't have the cap space for it. Nashville would have to eat up all of that contract pretty much. The Leafs have like maybe $1.5 million in cap space going right now. But, you look at this Florida team, Andrew, and I get it. The Vegas overs. I've talked about the Vegas first period overs last season. I talked about it early in this season and jumping on them. But you look at it, sometimes you get a team that comes in and their numbers are just as drastic. You look at, Florida, 11-4 on the season to the under in the first period. On the road, 6-2 to the first period under. Those are numbers that, if you flip them, you've basically got what the Vegas Golden Knights are as far as overall and on the road. Let me have a quick look at the Vegas Golden Knights and overs. The Vegas Golden Knights, Andrew, in the first period this season are 9-4-1. It's actually 10-4. They're giving one a push because they're saying that the line was, I guess they're taking it as the line was 2. The lines are 1.5 juiced. At home, the Vegas first period over is 5-2-1. So basically 6-2. So basically the same numbers as Florida's, but reversed. When you have two conflicting numbers, you start to think about who dictates the game at their pace. And it could very well be Florida in this case. So with that said, I'm off the first period over. I'm not taking the under between these two teams. The full game over or the full game under seems like the way to go for me. So that's where I would lean on this one.
And you just got to hope because it's all to do with Florida. I think we know the talent that Vegas has, Carm. So it's all about, I think, Florida dragging this into a boring defensive game. But I'll tell you, if you're a Vegas season ticket holder, they have some fun games, man. They have some good games there. And so far, you got to be impressed with them. Besides that loss against Tampa, in all the big games this season, they've showed up in a big way. So they've done very, very well. But Carm, really quick, before I jump into my same game parlay, I got to mention I get a 4% NFL prop bet up for today. 10-2 NFL player prop run, 20-7 player prop run. So it's been pretty good. And those have been my best plays, my NFL player props. A lot of those are 1%, 2% player props, but this one is a 4% best bet. Monday Night Football. We got Packers. We got Eagles. We got a guy I think is going to have a really good night tonight in the NFL. So don't miss out on that, guys. And, of course, NHL packages up and available as well. But, Carm, for you, man, what do you have going on tonight?
It is a quiet day for me. One play up in the NHL. The package should be up shortly. The play is already loaded for all access clients. No soccer until Thursday. It's the international break in Europe. It's the final round of qualifying for the World Cup. So a bunch of teams will qualify for the World Cup, and then eight second place teams will be put into a playoff to try and win their way into the World Cup. Italy being one of those. Unfortunately, they're going to miss the World Cup for the third. If they miss it for the third straight time, I don't know what to say. There's going to be hell to pay in the motherland. But with that said, I will have a play up in tonight's NFL. Let's see if I can build off of that nice 5% winner. Big card for me tomorrow. My NHL plays will be up for Tuesday. They'll be up, including a customer appreciation play. In that customer appreciation play, if you pick it up at 8 o'clock tonight when it goes live, there will be a coupon for a 5% play that is also tomorrow night in the NHL. The 5% cannot be $5 plays. So that's why I'm just explaining to you. Company rules. And with that said, Andrew, it is a quiet day for me, but a big week ahead. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, as far as the pod goes, this one is a hold your nose, guys, complete contrarian play. So on Friday's show, the 6-60, we went 4-2 in that one. It looked good. I thought we could go at least 5-1, but we didn't. I gave you guys two pod plays, one for Friday, one for Saturday. Both of them won. Friday was the Islanders' first period over. And on Saturday was the Vegas Golden Knights' first period over. So those ones won. Bankroll has increased. This is a hold your nose one. All the numbers scream the opposite of this play. But I am going to explain why I am taking the New York Rangers, Nashville, over 5.5. I get it. The numbers scream. I'm a contrarian in this play. But let me explain to you guys why. I am basing this one on pure analytics. The New York Rangers have been shut out in 5 of 7 games on home ice. In those 7 games, they created 20.74 goals of XG, scoring only 6. 14 goals under expected for the New York Rangers. The Preds on the road have produced 22.15 goals of XG, have only scored 14, 8 below their expected goals for. At some point, these numbers have to change. And at some point, the puck luck comes in. 2 bad teams, as far as scoring, playing in a game tonight at Madison Square Gardens. I am going to take the over 5.5 as your pod play. And that's basically 200 to win about 173. It is an ugly game. Hold your nose. If you don't want to play it, do not play it. But hopefully tomorrow when I put up a pod, it'll have a bankroll that's higher than that 53.85.
You know, Carm, the way I feel about this New York Rangers team at home, as well as goals at home for them, is kind of how I felt about fading the Pittsburgh Penguins. And you were a better man than me because you eventually made money fading them. But it was like the second I stopped fading the Penguins, they won 4 of their next 5 or lost 4 of the next 5 games. The second that I stopped taking the Rangers at home, Like if you guys want me to just take them tonight, or maybe I'll step away so they can win at home. Look, I think that when this team finally gets off the snide, that when they finally get it going at home, it's not going to be a 2-1 victory. I'm with you. I think that when the dam breaks, there's going to be a flood of goals. So I'm right there with you on that one. They're looking for a real good effort tonight, though. We'll see. Some guy, saying under. Dominic says 3-2 Rangers. Well, come on, guys. We got to cheer for.
But this is it. This is it. This is why it is a contrarian play, Andrew, because everyone says it can't happen. Just like everyone who had a teaser on the Buffalo Bills yesterday said there is no way after beating Kansas City soundly that they are going to go down and not beat the Miami Dolphins. Everyone thought it. And you know what? Check the final score because the Bills were never in that game. So when you least expect it, It's just the way it is, guys. It is why a contrarian play is what it is, because when someone gives you a contrarian play, you look at it and you go, ew, I don't want to take this thing. Right? So we shall see
I've got player props in that game, actually. I got player props for you in that game. And the funny thing is, this time they're not.
I think Trocheck's back tonight as well, too, right? For the Rangers, if I remember correctly. So a little bit of scoring coming back. So, you know what I mean? Trocheck, Hattie coming incoming. Trocheck, Patrick, incoming.
Good odds on that one. All right, Carm.
Give me a same game parlay.
I got the same game parlay here. I like this one quite a bit here, guys. And I'll tell you what, we started off the week last week, knock on wood, with our 10-1. And I think we were like inches away from cashing another one, but we went like 1-4 last week. But the biggest one we hit or gave out was the one that hit. Let's try and do it again here. We've got a pretty good one. If I can try and set this up here. There we go. All right. We're going to the Columbus and Edmonton game and the Nashville and New York Rangers game. This works out to be plus 910. Make sure you guys shop around, get the best price you possibly can. Marchenko, top line for the Blue Jackets, top line on the power play unit. He's done very well against the Oilers. He shoots the puck a ton. I think that, hey, even if the Oilers bounce back, we know this Columbus team is going to be in the mix, in the game, and they're a talented offensive team. Marchenko to get on the board. How about Leon Draisaitl? 3+ shots on goal. His attempts have been monstrous. His attempts have been very high over the last handful of games. And everyone's going to point to Connor McDavid after they got their asses kicked against the Avalanche. I'm going to look towards a guy like Draisaitl, over 2.5 shots on goal, and use that as far as our leg is concerned. And Bouchard, those shots from the point, those shots on the power play. And head-to-head matchup, he's done very well in this matchup against the Blue Jackets. And the Blue Jackets actually give up a ton of shots against defensemen. And then we got 2 shots on goal props here. O'Reilly over 1.5 shots. Stamkos over 1.5 shots. I feel like we're in a Lil Jon rap music video right now here, Carm. We need a lot of shots. I don't care if it's tequila, if it's gin, rum, vodka, whatever you have. We need shots tonight from Marchenko, from Draisaitl, from Bouchard, from O'Reilly, from Stamkos. We need a lot of shots tonight in the NHL. Plus 910 to start the week off with a banger. Let me know, guys, in the comments if you're tailing me. I really do like this one, and I feel like it's a quality same game parlay to get the week started. So that's it for me. Bruce says no dad jokes here. Sorry, Bruce. I'll try and limit the dad jokes, but ready to rock here. Plus 910, Carm, with this one. We got the 4% NFL play, 10-2 NFL prop run. That's it for me, man. Back over to you.
Yeah, good one, Andrew. I'm going to tail it just because there's not a lot of action for me today. I get to do the old guy thing and maybe take it like an afternoon nap or whatever, because there's like no soccer going on, which sometimes can make you take a nap even when you're watching it. But with that said, yeah, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You guys all remember who said that one. And TJ Salvador telling me it's 63 in Palermo today. Palermo, obviously, in Italy, guys. Andrew, I'm going to eventually move to Italy. It's coming. The day is coming. Once my wife retires from work, I'm going to get a nice place just outside of Rome and move there. Come back to Canada every couple of months in the summertime, visit friends, get my jabs in, and then head back. Not jabs as in needles, jabs as in the Leafs choked once again in the playoffs, and then head back to Italy. So you'll come and visit, right?
Carm, I want to get out of here now. And people were saying, I want to ask you this before we get out of here, because people were saying to me in the comments, like, oh, how much snow do you get? People were asking me on different shows because they don't know where Halifax is. What would you rather? What I've dealt with over the past 5 days of nonstop rain, or the snow that you've had? I don't know how much snow you've gotten, and I know it sucks for driving. Sometimes I almost would prefer snow, but then again, I can't believe you guys are getting that much snow November 10th. Like, we don't really get snow until December or January. But what would you rather, snow or rain? Because sometimes the rain pisses me off more than snow. But if it's too much snow, I don't want the snow either.
I'm okay with rain. What do you guys in chat? You let me know what you guys think. I'm okay with rain. Snow, like any weather conditions that aren't sunny, and people forget how to drive. It absolutely drives me nuts. It is like you get a little bit of snow and people forget how to drive. Like they're worried. You got the guy in wintertime who has like a foot of snow on top of his car because he refuses to clean it off. That's actually, the cops will actually pull you over here for having snow on top of your car. It's a safety hazard. They say it is crazy. I want to move to a warm weather climate. So Italy and Aruba, get a place in each location. I'm really going to have to win a lot of these bankroll bets to make that happen. But with that said, guys, I am going to call it a show. It looks like Andrew's either deep in thought or frozen. I'm going to go with frozen. So for myself and Andrew McInnis, this is Puck Time. We will see you tomorrow when Don Buster and Brian Leonard join us to break down some of the biggest games in the NHL on Tuesday night. We will see you guys. Thanks for dropping a comment in the comment section, and hit that like button on your way out.